And it is time for our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. Little Sweet 16 action for you tonight in the 4A West with the number 2 seed Lake Norman Wildcats at 26-1, taking on the 10 seed, the North Mecklenburg Vikings, who are off to a hot start in their playoff run. Hi everyone, Kendall Lewis here with you tonight on BahakelSports.com. Glad you're tuned in with us from wherever you may be. Lights are off here at Lake Norman High School and the starting lineups being introduced. Let's take a look at our playoff bracket to see what these two teams have on tap. If they win this game for Friday, that will be the Elite Eight, the regional semifinal game Friday night at the higher seed. Of course, Lake Norman with a win as the 2 seed would also host Friday night. They get the winner of Watauga and Northern Guilford on Friday night. And if North Meck wins this game, we'll have to travel to one of those 2 schools, the winner of the Nighthawks and the Pioneers. We'll try to keep you up to par on what the score is throughout this one on our other game on the other side. And again, this is the Sweet 16. The road to Winston-Salem continues on with the sectional final tonight. Once again, we are glad you're tuned in with us from wherever you may be. Lake Norman will be in the white unis with the black trim down the side, blue letters, blue numbers. North Mecklenburg in the blue unis, white numbers tonight, and the red trim down the side. There are plenty of Division I talent, college prospects on both sides that we will get to and talk about with these two teams. Lake Norman 26-1 out of the Greater Metro 4A Conference. North Meck finished second in a gauntlet of a Queen City conference this year, finishing just behind Mallard Creek, hence why they are the 10 seed as the highest two with the RPI rankings. And the tip goes out of bounds. We're underway. Lake Norman controls and will try to strike first. Alexis and Samantha Sheehan, number 21 and 22 in white. Pay attention, heading to play at Kentucky Wesleyan next year. Addison Sirianni surveys the floor, floats it inside to Kelsey Ryan. Ryan can stroke it. Puts it on the deck. Ryan reverses it off window, good. And the Navy commit gets the Wildcats on the board first, and they immediately come with pressure. Stephanie Mobley dribbling around the top. Pressured, turns it over, right into the hands of Samantha Sheehan. Samantha brings it across the timeline, and they quickly get it to Addison Sirianni. Kelsey Ryan, she's got that type of range, almost banked it in, and it pops off and into the hands of Morgan Knox, who's trapped in the backcourt. Mobley pushes it across the timeline. Mobley into the front court for the Vikings. Has this one taken away, a steal by Alexis. Up to her twin sister Samantha for 2. Quick 4-0 start for Mackenzie Graham's crew and the Wildcats. 90 seconds in, a 4-0 lead. Kendall Lewis here with you on BahakelSports.com. Joseph kicks it out. Mobley will try the 3. And a foul on the floor. This is going to be issued to Samantha Sheehan. That'll be her first. Team foul number 1. And it comes against the Wildcats. Fouls on the floor, a baseline out of bounds coming for North Meck. The Vikings, as we mentioned, 25-3. Quick inbound and an easy lay-in for Hoover, who gets the first deuce for the Vikings. Bonacanti pressure, picks up her dribble, gives it up to Kelsey Ryan.
I heard of Dix.com.
Catch and shoot 3, short that time from Alexis Sheehan.
Let's go shopping.
Anyone impressed with how fast that
And
was?
a shuffle of the feet along the sideline. And instead, Soleil Reed just stepped out of bounds on the sideline for North Meck. It'll be a turnover back to Lake Norman. Oh, nice back cut in the find to Ryan, but she was blocked by Lanice Joseph, and they say last touch by Ryan. It'll be North Meck basketball. And it is time for our Bahakel Sports fingertips game of the week after the block. Little Sweet 16 action for you tonight in the 4A West. Gets it up with ahead to Soleil Reed, and we're tied at 4. Get your popcorn ready, taking folks. On back and forth we go in the opening 2.5 minutes. Vikings, Ryan, who are dangerous to a hot start by their playoff run. Pimentel into the front court. Hi everyone, Kendall Lewis here with you tonight on Bahakel Sports. Deep position in the post. Glad you tuned in with us from wherever you may be. Lights are off here at the 5-15 High School, and the starting lineups being introduced. Let's take a look at our playoff bracket. Blocked to see how what these two teams have on tap if they win this game for Friday. That will be the Elite Eight, the regional semifinal game Friday night at the higher seed. Of course, Lake Norman with a win as the 2 seed would also host for Lake Norman Friday night. They get the winner of Watauga and Northern Guilford, the junior, on Friday night in for the first time. And if North Meck wins this game, we'll have to travel to one of those 2 schools. The winner inbound goes to the Nighthawks and the Pioneers. We're trying to keep you as silk. Up to par on Alexis and Samantha, twin sisters heading to play on our other game on the other side. Going to continue their college careers again, together. This is the Sweet 16, the road to Winston-Salem. How does it continues on with the sectional final tonight. Menard. Once again, we are glad you're tuned in with us. Back to Menard wherever you may be. Ryan off balance, short, grabs her own miss. Ryan attacking, Ryan trying to finish. Lake Norman will be in the white unis. So rebound Vikings. With the black trim down the side. Blue letters, blue numbers. Lead feet ahead and lays it in for 2. White numbers tonight. And the North Meck back up on top here with 4:21 left to play in the first quarter. Multiple ties, multiple lead changes already. And a whistle and a foul. Pimentel, the culprit, bumped Menard, and that'll be team foul number 1 on North Mecklenburg here with 4:15 left to play in the first quarter. Ryan to trigger it in. Oh, nice set on the sideline out of bounds. Ryan to Sheehan, and the back door is open for Menard, and North Meck turns it over, facing that pressure once again. Excellent set play on the sideline out of bounds for the Wildcats. And Addison Sirianni, the senior, who's heading to play at Chaminade in Hawaii. Big part of their run last year and the last several years in this program for Mackenzie Graham. And the Wildcats, an unforced error as they turn it over. 3:58 left to play in the first quarter on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. We're tied at 8 here in the Sweet 16 of the 4A West. Get a look at Lake Norman, 26-1 this year. They went a perfect 13-0 in the Greater Metro 4A. 76 points per game. They own the glass at 32 rebounds, but I think the most important stat is that 23.5 assists per game on average. 23 assists. They really moved the basketball, and we've seen that in the first quarter here. Tied at 8 apiece. Kendall Lewis here with you on BahakelSports.com. Winner of this one gets the winner of Watauga and Northern Guilford Friday night in the regional semifinal. And a whistle and a foul off the ball. Second team foul on North Mecklenburg. And it goes against Hoover. Well, Lake Norman a chance to retake the lead. Looking for the back cut from Menard, who was shoved along the baseline. And whistle and a foul is going to go on Soleil Reed. That'll be team foul number 3 on the Vikings. And we'll take a second look. Strong take to the rack and the finish. Alexis Sheehan. 10-8, Wildcats with the lead. Into the front court comes North Meck. Trying to feed the post. Active hands on D. Menard, took it away. And now a chance to set up the Wildcat offense. And a whistle and a foul away from the ball. Goes against Alexis Sheehan. And her twin sister Samantha's going to check in place of Alexis. Just over 3 minutes left to play, first quarter. Mobley finds Reed, extra pass inside, missing the bunny from up close was Hoover. How about another opportunity? And the Vikings just a lid on the basket right now, can't finish it. Here comes Lake Norman. Extra pass to the corner, Ryan, she can shoot it, pops off, second chance, no. And now loose on the floor. And a whistle and a foul called. And Mackenzie Graham upset. She thought that there should have been a jump ball called. Instead, they whistle a foul. And now the official on the near side over talking with Coach Graham. Third team foul on the Wildcats. Full court pressure again by Lake Norman. Knocks into the front court. Oh, quick hands. Another steal for Menard. Menard attacking and finishing off glass. Defense to offense for the Wildcats. Vikings get it to the front court. Pressure everywhere for Lake Norman. Pull up Jay. Bounces around and drops. On the elbow jumper for Hoover, she's got 4 of the Vikings' 10. Wide open crease, and Menard takes it and finishes it. 4-point lead for the Wildcats. Reed. Long pass over the top of the head of Knox and out of bounds. Tell you what, even when Lake Norman is not turning you over with this pressure, they have sped the Vikings up here in the first quarter. 1:42 left to play in the first. Big possession right here. The Wildcats, their largest lead has been 4 so far in the first quarter. Can balloon this lead a little bit. Ryan from deep. Oh, rattles it home. Beyond NBA range. 7-point lead for the Wildcats. And this one deflected out of play on the far side. Soleil Reed will trigger it in for the Vikings. Pimentel launches from 3. Foot was on the line. They'll call it a 2. And a big bucket, though, for the Vikings. Trims the deficit back down to 5. Kelsey Ryan spinning and finishing. Oh, Kelsey Ryan showing she can score at all 3 levels here in the first quarter. Mobley attacking, floater no. Long rebound, a whistle, and a reach-in foul called on Pimentel. And that'll be number 4 on the Vikings with 54 seconds remaining in the first. Largest lead of the game so far for the Wildcats. We had multiple ties, multiple lead changes early on in this one. Ryan keeps the dribble alive. Lost it there. They say it was off of her leg. And out of bounds, back to North Meck with 36.7 seconds left in the first. This is a monster possession right here for North Meck. Chance to score to close the first out. Mobley, long 2. Short, loose on the floor. And a whistle and a jump ball. Possession arrow is going to favor Lake Norman. So a good stand for Mackenzie Graham and her Wildcats. And now 23.9 seconds left to go in the first. Here in this 4A West sectional final. Lake Norman, the number 2 seed, 26-1 this season. Just a monster non-conference schedule as well. Sheehan looking for space. And a whistle comes in against the Vikings. That'll be team foul number 5. It's going to put Samantha Sheehan at the free throw line. And Samantha Sheehan misfires on the first. Well, Samantha Sheehan, just a 64% free throw shooter coming in. This is maybe the only place that Lake Norman has had some struggles this year. Just 61% from the charity stripe as a team coming into tonight. She goes 1 of 2, an 8-point lead. Blake from the free throw line short. Heave at the horn, off the mark, and Lake Norman throws a haymaker to end the first quarter. They've got their largest lead at 8, 20-12 on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. Lake Norman with an 8-point lead as we come back to you on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. The Sweet 16, the sectional final in the 4A West between the number 2 seed, the Lake Norman Wildcats, and the North Mecklenburg Vikings. It was back and forth in that first quarter, and a reach-in foul called on Samantha Sheehan, who looked like she just reached in there, took it away from Lenise Joseph. Body contact, so just 10 seconds in. first team foul of the quarter. I think the Lake Norman Wildcats did a really nice job of limiting the touches of Lanice Joseph in the first quarter for North Meck. And the fall away Jay misses short. Kelsey Ryan, a good box out, pulls in the rebound. She'll pull it from three and connects. Second made triple for Kelsey Ryan. 11-point lead, and missing it from close range. The Vikings have missed some bunnies in the first half so far. Catching fire from the corner for Alexis, just off the mark. And Blake trying to feed it inside, throws it away. Double-digit lead for the Wildcats. Again, we had multiple lead changes back in the first quarter. Lake Norman, a program that went to the state championship a couple of years ago. Last year losing in the regional final at home to Charlotte Catholic. Offensive foul called on Lanice Joseph. It'll be Joseph's first. Team foul number 1 on the Vikings here with 6:45 left to play in the first half. Ryan. Oh, swim move into the paint, missed the bunny. Rebound Vikings. Into the front court goes Knox. Knox trying to bully her way to the rack, draws the body contact. Whistle and a foul comes in on Bond. And we'll take a second look at the replay. So Morgan Knox at the free throw line to shoot a pair for the Vikings. First one's up and good. Morgan Knox, just a 68% free throw shooter. He's only attempted 42 attempts on the season, makes them both. And that free throw line magnified tonight with these two teams, who are both very sound defensively, do it a little bit differently on offense. You'll notice Lake Norman more of a set-oriented, lots of ball screens, cutters, and reversals, and Mackenzie Graham and her crew's offense. And a whistle and a bump from behind on the Vikings. And it comes in against Hoover. That's her second. And then Lake Norman turns it right back over. Knox into the paint, drops it off, and a quick two for Hoover. Hoover's got 6 of the 16 for North Meck so far. Just 2 minutes into the second quarter. Bond attacking. Bond, wild shot off the glass. And Knox everywhere right now for the Vikings. Bounces it up the floor to Mobley. Somehow threaded the needle inside to Hoover again. It's back-to-back buckets for Shannon Hoover. All of a sudden, what was an 11-point Wildcat lead has been dwindled down to 5. Ryan on the step back, can't get it to go. Joseph the rebound. Joseph going to take it up the floor herself. Joseph attacking and draws the foul. Foul comes in on Kelsey Ryan. Team foul number 3 on the Wildcats here in the second quarter. And Joseph at the free throw line gets the roll in the first. Well, Lanice Joseph, 23 points per game. She is just a 10th grader, folks. This is a kid that you're going to see at the high major level in just a few years. He just burst right onto the scene last year as a 9th grader here at the 4A classification. Active hands, a steal. Blake took it away. Blake lays it home. We got a 1-point game with 5:04 left to play in the first half. Sheehan attacking, blocked out of bounds. And all of a sudden, there is life on the Viking side. A 9-0 run for North Meck. Tough shot, bucket and the foul. Rayana Menard with a chance at 3 for the Wildcats. And finally stops the long drought for Lake Norman. Short on the free throw, and a whistle and a foul comes in on the Wildcats, trying to corral the rebound. Three-point game now with under 5 minutes left to play, second quarter. Mobley into the paint, trying the runner, and can't get it to drop. Bond the rebound, Knox the steal in the backcourt. Knox gets tied up, and possession error going to give it back to Lake Norman. Tell you what, Lake Norman has been everywhere on defense, and North Meck has cranked it up as well in this second quarter. We mentioned this was a 23-12 game. North Meck went on a 9-0 run to pull back 23-22, and now we've got a 3-point game. Ryan off the roll, catches and gets fouled. Boy, Kelsey Ryan, who is only a junior for Lake Norman, Coach Graham's got her back another year, is already committed to play Division I basketball at Navy for the midshipmen. Rattles in the first free throw. We mentioned that Kelsey Ryan has already showed off in this first half that she can score at all 3 levels. Makes them both. It's a 5-point lead for the Wildcats. Coming up on a media timeout at the under 4. Knox, Euro step in the paint. Knox looked at the long J, instead puts it on the deck and drives. Had the shot altered and then a whistle and a travel. Ryan, deep 3. Oh, her third make from distance in the first half. Lead back up to 8 for the Wildcats. And a whistle and a foul called. Who do they charge the foul to? We'll find out after the timeout. It's 30-22, and Lake Norman over the limit. That's their 5th team foul. We'll be right back from the sectional final in the 4th. 30-22, 8-point lead for the Wildcats over the North Meck Vikings as Lanice Joseph goes back to the free throw line for North Meck. Tickles the twine on the first. Well, Lanice Joseph's touches in the paint have been limited tonight, but she is starting to settle in her second trip to the free throw line here in the second quarter. She goes 1 for 2 that time. Couple of deep threes in this second quarter from Kelsey Ryan. She's hit 3 in the first half for the Wildcats to create a little separation. Kendall Lewis here with you on BahakelSports.com. They lob it inside, and the finish. Finley Sherrill, the freshman, and the ball just hangs on the rim and finally drops for the Wildcats. Knox wants the baseline. Knox, tough move, couldn't finish it off glass. Here comes Lake Norman, trying to push the pace a little bit. 3 minutes left to go, first half. Sherrill surveys. Lexus Sheehan in the game, number 21 in white. Samantha's on the bench. Sirianni pulls it back away. Lake Norman eating some of this clock off here with just over 2.5 to play, second quarter. Bonacanti surveys. Over a minute's gone off here on this possession for Lake Norman. With a 9-point lead, they'll just eat some of this clock again. Going to force the Vikings to come out and guard. And a takeaway. Hoover strips it clean. Less than 2 to go. Mobley attacking. And Mobley draws the foul. Stephanie Mobley Jr., scrappy guard for the Vikings, so they've got back for another year. Averages 5 points a game, but she averages 5.4 assists per game and only turns it over one time a ball game. Her assist to turnover ratio is off the charts. One of the best assist to turnover ratios in the state of North Carolina, regardless of classification. And also at 5'5", almost 2.5 rebounds a game for the Vikings this year. And 1 of 2 at the stripe. 8-point lead for Lake Norman. Here with 1:44 left to play, second quarter. High post entry feed to Alexis Sheehan. Sheehan, oh, nice backdoor pass to Ryan. Got caught underneath the rim. And now there's a jump ball, and possession arrow is going to favor the Vikings. Tell you what, both teams have missed some chippies around the rim here in this first half that they would like to have back. Wildcats take it away, and Alexis Sheehan just dribbled it off her foot. Had a wide open layup. And certainly one she'd like to have back. As North Meck makes a couple of substitutions. Blake will check in for Soleil Reed. Mobley to trigger it in, struggling to find a Viking to inbound it to. They get it to Joseph. Joseph getting downhill, attacking, missed it off the glass. Rebound Wildcats. Bonacanti was trapped momentarily. And now they'll feed it inside Alexis trying to go to work. Can't get the turnaround to go. And a whistle and a reach-in foul called on the Wildcats. And they're going to walk to the other end. That'll be free throws coming for North Mecklenburg here with 55.7 seconds remaining in the second quarter. And Mobley off the side of the rim on the first. Mobley 1 for 3 from the free throw line in his first half for North Mecklenburg. We just talked about Mobley and her assist to turnover ratio. How about 3 steals per ball game? Just such a prowess for Jennifer Baker and North Mecklenburg. 1 of 2, 7-point lead for Lake Norman here with 47 seconds to play, second quarter. Ryan, quick crossover. Ryan into the paint, blocked by Joseph. Long pass up the floor and a wide open layup for Hoover, who stops on a dime and sticks it in. She had Sirianni tracking. And now it's a 5-point lead for Lake Norman. North Mac chipping away here late in the second quarter. Menard spins. Menard, tough move. Off the glass. Kisses it off the window. Joseph spins at midcourt. Joseph drops it off and no shot as the first half horn comes to a sound. Here at Lake Norman High School, the Wildcats leading 34-27 in the Sweet 16. We'll be back with our halftime report after these messages. Lake Norman leading North Mac 34-27 here at halftime. Kendall Lewis back with you on BahakelSports.com. Both teams back and forth in that first half. And I tell you what, you look at what is at stake with the regional semifinals Friday night at the higher seed. Winner of this one gets the winner of Watauga and Northern Guilford. Kate Sears at Watauga, one of the best guards in the state. And, of course, McPhail at Northern Guilford, really good as well as a 10th grader. One of the top players in her class is just a 10th grader. That should be an interesting matchup tonight up in Boone at Watauga. Now, these two teams doing a little bit of scoreboard watching on that one here later tonight. We'll try and keep you posted. That was a scheduled 7 o'clock start for both of those teams, and that should be an interesting matchup. Again, winner of this one will play the winner of Watauga Northern Guilford. If Lake Norman wins, they've got home court advantage. If Watauga or if North Meck wins, of course, they'll have to go on the road to one of those two schools. Right now, 7-point lead for Lake Norman. We'll take another break. We've got more coming at halftime on Bahakel Sports. Seven-point lead for the Lake Norman Wildcats here at halftime over North Mecklenburg in the sectional final of the 4A West, the Sweet 16, if you will, as we take a look at some of the first half highlights from these two teams. And Kelsey Ryan with 3 deep threes in the first half, feeling it, scoring on all 3 levels. She was in double figures for the Wildcats of Lake Norman. Lenice Joseph was a little bit quiet in the first, but Shannon Hoover was not. Had 6 of the first 16 for North Meck. And how about off the bench for the Wildcats? Rayana Menard with some big finishes around the basket. And then in the second quarter, North Meck started to settle in a little bit, went on a 9-0 run at one point to cut it to 1, and what once was a 11-point Lake Norman lead. Lenice Joseph got going a little bit in the second quarter, and we've got a 7-point ball game back and forth between these two teams. Wildcats Vikings, 16 minutes to send someone to the regional semifinal Friday night. We'll be right back on BahakelSports.com. 34-27 as we get set to begin the second half of play. Kendall Lewis comes back with you on BahakelSports.com. Glad to have you tuned in from wherever you may be tonight. We are glad you're tuned in for this one. Again, this is the Sweet 16, the sectional final of the 4A West with Lake Norman leading. We take a look at some of those highlights once again. And that was a big difference maker. Kelsey Ryan and her 3 deep threes able to stretch the lead out a little bit. Hoover was the big storyline for North Meck in the first half. Had a couple of big-time buckets in traffic. And Menard off the bench for Lake Norman, able to score a couple of buckets there late in the second quarter. Finley Sherrill had the 2 inside that was big as well to extend the lead for Lake Norman. And we are ready for the second half as we get underway. Lake Norman will have the basketball first here to start the second half. Nice back cut, and Ryan missed it from close range. Joseph running the floor on the other end, gets the roll. And that's what she does so well. Lanice Joseph, at 6 feet tall, is a 10th grader. And able to run rim to rim for North Meck. And we've got a 5-point game, 30 seconds in. Inside they get it to Alexis Sheehan, missed it, grabs her on miss, trying to find her sister cutting down the alley, and a turnover. Mobley trying to take it coast to coast. Mobley long on the floater, and Reed couldn't save it back in bounds. Back in the first quarter, we traded buckets. North Meck had an 8-6 lead. Then we were tied at 8 apiece. Lake Norman retook the lead and led the entire second quarter. Ryan down the baseline finds Alexis Sheehan, who's blocked from behind by Lanice Joseph. And Samantha Sheehan will check in for Menard, junior, who has given the Wildcats a spark off the bench tonight. That's for sure. Samantha Sheehan from deep, spins off for 3. Knox, long pass to Reed, who tracks it down in the corner. Mobley surveys the floor now, trying to feed it inside to Joseph. Just forced it. Numbers now for the Wildcats. Alexis kicks it back out to Kelsey Ryan. Open look from 3, good. Addison Sirianni, known as 3&D. As Coach Mackenzie Graham says, our best on-ball defender. Wild pass. Samantha Sheehan tracks it down, spins and lays it home. Quick 5-0 run, and Jennifer Baker of North Meck wants a timeout, with Lake Norman leading by 10 here with 6:16 left to play in the third quarter. And Jennifer Baker, the head coach, who does a terrific job with this program, and you take a look at some of their stats and numbers this year. 30.5 rebounds per ball game. I tell you what, Lanice Joseph, obviously a big part of that when you think about her 10 rebounds a game and 23 points a game, averaging a double-double and almost 4 blocks a game. But this is a North Meck team that their guards really have a nose for the basketball, get in there and rebound as well. Wildcats come back with pressure. They get it into Lanice Joseph. Joseph brings it into the front court. Joseph on the turnaround, gets it to go. Just took it the length of the floor and finished. Lexis Sheehan puts it on the floor, can't hit from close range. Knox clears the board. Oh, nice pass up the floor, the bounce feed to Hoover, and Hoover gets fouled after whistle comes in after the missed lay-in. We'll take a second look. And, yep, right call. Bonaconte got her on top of the head. And Hoover at the free throw line for North Meck gets the roll in the first. Hoover 8.5 points a game, 5 rebounds a game. Does a little bit of everything for this team. Over a steal a game. We mentioned she had 6 of the first 16 points for the Vikings tonight. And a late substitution. Blake will check in as Hoover will have a seat. Smaller lineup on the floor for Jennifer Baker, but a quick lineup. And a travel called on Addison Sirianni, who will turn it back over to North Meck. Mini 4-0 run for the Vikings coming out of that last timeout. Can they build on it? Oh, tough move and floater good. Blake just kisses it off the window for 2. Deficit down to 4. Lexus Sheehan drops it off. Missing it from close range inside was Bond, who gets it back. Missed it a second time. A lid on the basket right now for the Wildcats. Reed kicks it back out, Mobley. Mobley into the paint. Tries the floater out of bounds, and this will go back to Lake Norman. Ryan, little stutter step. Ryan skips it to the corner. They go back to Ryan for 3 again. Kelsey Ryan, her 4th make from 3. And a quick timeout taken by Mackenzie Graham and the Wildcats. Wow. The difference maker in this game has been the 3-ball. And Kelsey Ryan, with her 4th make from downtown, extends the Lake Norman lead out to 7. 42-35 with 4:45 left to play in the third quarter. And we'd also like to say happy birthday to Coach Mackenzie Graham today. And she told me before this one, hey, that adds the pressure to trying to get a win on your birthday. We were actually here 2 years ago on her birthday where she picked up a win right here at home in a playoff game. Trying to do the same thing against a tough North Meck team here tonight. Lake Norman leads it by 7. Their largest of the game has been 11, and they force a turnover. Steal by Alexis. Alexis Sheehan. Little head fake, tosses back to Ryan. Kelsey Ryan surveys, wants it again from 3. You betcha! Ten-point lead for the Wildcats. Mobley bullets one inside. Hoover had the shot altered. Rebound Wildcats. Kelsey Ryan coast to coast trying to lob it over the top. And Lake Norman a little out of character that time. They turn it back over. 4:01 left to play, third quarter. Mobley floats it into the front court to Reed, who picks up her dribble. Reed trapped. It's it back to Blake. Knox trying to go off glass. Offensive foul. Wave off the bucket. This is going the other way. And that's going to take us to immediate timeout. 45-35. Lake Norman leading North Meck. 45-35, 10-point lead for Lake Norman as we come back to you on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. The sectional final in the 4A West. And the Sweet 16 winner of this game gets the winner of Watauga Northern Guilford. We have no score update right now on that one. That is the 3-6 matchup here in the 4A West. Ryan, the Euro step, drops it off to Alexis Sheehan. Can't get it to go off glass. Reed tied up. Possession arrow going to favor North Meck. Samantha Sheehan had 2 fouls back in the first half for Lake Norman. Hoover got a couple of fouls for North Meck. This one deflected right into the hands of Reed. And a whistle and a foul comes in. And that's going to go against Bond. Second team on the Wildcats, and I think that's Bond's 3rd foul, if that's who they gave it to. Joseph, good find inside. Reed, the 2 off glass. Excellent ball movement by North Meck. And Joseph, so good, impacts this team in so many different ways. Finds Reed inside for 2. Tapped around, out of bounds along the baseline. It's going to stay on this end with Lake Norman. 2:55 to play, third quarter. Kendall Lewis here with you on BahakelSports.com tonight. Ryan thought she got fouled, no whistle. Reed nowhere to go, trapped. Mobley trying to look ahead, turns it over. Alexis Sheehan inside Bond. They go back to Alexis Sheehan, and a whistle and a foul called on Soleil Reed, and that's going to be her 3rd. If you take a second look at the replay, it's just the second team on North Mecklenburg. We're under 3 to go, third quarter. Quick inbound. Oh, nice finish. Menard catches and finishes. Floater on the other end, wide open. Nobody stopped ball, and Blake just takes it the length of the floor. Sirianni surveys. Gives it up to Bond. Bullets one inside to Menard, scored in the foul. How about Rihanna Menard in this ball game, folks? Off the bench for Lake Norman, and a chance at 3. And the team trainer going to tend to Alexis Sheehan along the sideline. They're going to wrap that knee up. And Alexis is going to stay on the floor. Samantha Sheehan on the bench for Lake Norman right now. And a chance to make this an 11-point lead for Lake Norman. And Menard does just that. That matches the largest of the game for the Wildcats so far. Joseph up ahead to Soleil Reed. Pimentel gives it up. Reed inside. Hoover on the turnaround. Left it short. Alexis Sheehan slithers into the paint. Picks up her dribble. Menard on the floater. No. Trying to corral the rebound. Now it's loose on the floor. And a jump ball. Possession arrow is going to keep it on this end with the Wildcats. Menard finds Ryan, backdoor, who instead gives it up to Alexis Sheehan, and then Sheehan gets tied up by Joseph. Active hands by Lanice Joseph to reach in there and tie up Alexis Sheehan, and it'll give the basketball back to North Meck. As Bonaconti checks in for the Wildcats. Bond will have a seat. Bond's got 3 fouls. 3 team fouls on North Meck here in the third quarter, just 2 for Lake Norman. And a turnover. Ryan looking up the floor, and a push in the back, a whistle and a foul called on North Meck. Johnson will check in for the first time for North Meck. Kelsey Ryan will trigger it in. Menard. Are they going to score it? They do. Delayed motion by whether or not the bucket counted. Looked like they were going to call it on the floor at first, and they score it. And a chance at 3 for Menard, who has been a spark plug tonight off the bench for Lake Norman. And strips the net, lead up to 14 for Lake Norman. Joseph trying to skip it. Alexis Sheehan intercepts the pass. Ryan on the step back 3. Off the heel of the rim, offensive rebound, and Lake Norman will hit the reset button here. Can eat some of this clock. 55 seconds left in the third. Ryan cuts back door, catches and lays it in. Sweet pass from Addison Bonaconti. 16-point lead. And Blake gets bumped and fouled. So we take a second look at that last bucket from Kelsey Ryan, who has been lights out tonight for the Wildcats of Lake Norman. And Samantha Sheehan checks back in for the Wildcats. Blake called for the travel. And if you're Lake Norman right now, a 16-point lead with 31 seconds left in the third quarter. They can eat this clock and play for the last shot here. No need to be in a hurry here with their largest lead of the game. They get it back out front to Sirianni. Game clock down to 10 seconds. Alexis Sheehan looking, gets it to her twin sister, Samantha from deep, gets the roll all around the rim and falls through. How about a members bounce here at home for Samantha Sheehan? And a 19-point lead, 58-39. We'll be back 8 minutes to send someone to the regional semifinal. 8 minutes to send someone to the regional semifinal Friday night. Lake Norman with a commanding 19-point lead as we start the fourth. North Meck needs points. They need them fast. And Alexis Sheehan right out of the gate hits the turnaround for two and extends the lead. North Meck's got to go. Shot fake for Pimentel, who gets into the paint. Can't finish. And Kelsey Ryan secures the board for Lake Norman. They can really eat this clock down with a 21-point lead. Just getting started in the fourth quarter. Kendall Lewis here with you, BahakelSports.com. Well, Lake Norman, that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to work this clock down, force North Meck to come out and guard. And we talked about it, Lake Norman coming into this ball game just 64% from the free throw line as a team. As Samantha Sheehan sets her feet from three, can't connect. An offensive rebound and a timeout with 6:50 left to play in the ball game. We'll keep it right here on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. Folks, there's a look at the winner of this game and the winner of the Watauga Northern Guilford game. They will play Friday night at the higher seed. Of course, Lake Norman is the 2 seed in the 4A West, as you see right there. Watauga the 3 seed, and if North Meck's able to come from behind here in this fourth quarter, would have to travel on the road to either one of those teams on Friday night. So that's the beauty of having one of the top 2 seeds in the North Carolina High School Athletic Association, is the fact that if you're able to continue to win, you get that home court advantage all the way until the regional finals that will be played at Winston-Salem at Lawrence Joel Coliseum starting next Monday through Thursday, with the state championships Friday and Saturday. Always a fun time of the year when you get to March. And these two clubs trying to continue it on. $60-39 lead for Lake Norman, who has led the entire second half. Kelsey Ryan, a spin move in the finish. We mentioned trying to eat some of this clock, and that time they get 2 out of it. And Johnson, who was trying to drive in, was fouled. First team foul on the Wildcats. And trying to feed it to Joseph inside. It's a turnover. We mentioned North Meck, just 3 losses on the year. They wins against Southeast Guilford and at Butler to get to this game tonight. Friday night they had a 15-point win on the road at Butler. And Lake Norman trying to eat some more of this clock. We're just over 6 minutes left to play. Mentioned Lake Norman 2 years ago, able to make it to the state championship game. Last year eliminated in the regional semifinal in their home floor to Charlotte Catholic. Samantha Sheehan launches. Can't connect, tapped around, and a rebound secured in by Knox, who brings it up the floor. Mobley on the baseline. Long. Joseph, the offensive board, back up, can't get it to go. A third chance for Knox, and the Wildcats finally pull in the rebound. Ryan trying to save it, and Lake Norman gets awarded a timeout. And we'll keep it right here with 5:22 left to play. Lake Norman has been so good all season long. You think about the Wildcats, as we mentioned, just one loss this year, and that was right around Christmas to a team that was out of state. And that's their only loss. Their wins this year have come in the playoffs, have come against Cox Mill in the first round. They won by 45. And then Northwest Guilford, 87-41, a big win on Friday night right here at home. Well, they have really just dominated in their first two playoff games. And, of course, this game tonight, 23 points, back and forth in the first quarter. But once Lake Norman took that 10-8 lead, got it to 12-8, had a 23-12 run. We saw a 9-0 run at one point in the second quarter from North Meck. And a whistle and a tie-up. And possession arrow is going to give it back to the Vikings. Vikings get into the front court. Knox will try a jumper on the baseline. Offensive board, North Mecklenburg. They got to move in a hurry. They get it inside Joseph, who lays it on off the glass. And now the Vikings got to come with full court pressure. I tell you what, we mentioned it, not really a weak spot for the Wildcats, but they're under a 70% team at the free throw line this year. I think if you're Jennifer Baker and North Meck, you got to think about fouling on every possession now with just over 4.5 minutes left to play and down 21. That time Ryan nearly got the lay-in to go, but it will stop the clock. She'll have a pair of free throws coming for Lake Norman. And Kelsey Ryan rattles in the first free throw. Well, Kelsey Ryan's been really good this year, 13 points a game. You think about this team, it's got 3 double-figure scores with Kelsey Ryan, Alexis Sheehan, and Samantha Sheehan. Ryan has already committed to play for Navy, the Division I level. She's just a junior. And a timeout, North Meck. And we'll keep it right here inside of Lake Norman High School with the Wildcats leading by 23. Jennifer Baker does a really good job with this program. You can't get out of the Charlotte metro area without talking about North Meck basketball and the job that she's done over the years. Plenty of conference championships and deep playoff runs. And right now, clock not on their side with 4:34 left to play in the fourth quarter. Kendall Lewis here with you on BahakelSports.com. We're glad you're tuned in with us tonight. Joseph had it knocked out of her hands. There's a reach-in foul called. We mentioned North Meck, that Queen City conference this year with Mallard Creek. He was really good. Knox into the paint, skips it out. And then North Meck turns it over with 4:18 left to play. I think if you're the Vikings, you have to foul now. Just simply not going to be enough possessions without putting Lake Norman on the free throw line. And we've seen what the Wildcats are able to do in the half court to eat some of that clock with this lead. North Meck electing not to foul. Sirianni dribbling around out top, trying to eat this clock. Bond drives in and draws the foul. You're thinking about right there that a good 33 seconds from 4:18 when they inbounded the ball to 3:45 went off the clock. And it's going to take us to immediate timeout, 64-41. We'll be right back on BahakelSports.com. (64-41), 23-point lead for Lake Norman. And Bond at the free throw line for the Wildcats. Misses off the back of the rim on the first. Just 3:45 left to play in the ball game. Lake Norman can almost taste the regional semifinal. Missed them both. North Meck's got to go in a hurry. Reed trying to feed it inside to Joseph. And a whistle and a foul comes in. Third team foul on Lake Norman here with 3:37 left to play in the fourth quarter. Joseph pressured, and jump ball, possession error, going to give it back to Lake Norman. Lake Norman, as we mentioned, 26 wins on the year, 26-1. They try and eat some more of this clock, just over 3 minutes. Whistle and a foul comes in on Mobley. And a 5-second call. Wow, a turnover trying to get it in bounds on the sideline from Lake Norman. Gives it back to the Vikings. So North Meck catches a break with 3:13. Get it to Joseph. Catching fire from three, long. Second chance, yes, on the stick back for Morgan Knox. Still a 21-point lead, though, for Lake Norman, and a wide-open Kelsey Ryan on the other end. Knox attacking. Knox rejected by Samantha Sheehan. And Hoover will check back in for Soleil Reed. Three ball off the back of the rim, and Knox, who pulled in the rebound, they say she traveled. (66-43). Samantha Sheehan brings it up the floor for the Wildcats. And North Mac electing not to foul. Now Lake Norman going to pick up their 27th win of the season and advance to the regional semifinal yet again under the head coach, Mackenzie Graham, who has done just a tremendous job in her 8th year as the head coach. And Alexis Sheehan lost the rock out of bounds. Knox, wide open crease, missed the lay-in. Hoover trying to go back up, was fouled. Couple of substitutions. Tell you what, you think about this playoff run for Lake Norman, and they're going to get another home game for these seniors that have been so special for Mackenzie Graham these last 4 seasons. And a shot on Friday on their home floor to punch a ticket back to Winston-Salem. And Hoover makes on the second, 66-45. Kelsey Ryan, 5 threes tonight for the Wildcats. Big storyline in this one. And they just opened it up in the third quarter. We had a 7-point game at halftime, 34-27. Ryan pulls it out, going to try to eat out this final 120. And a whistle and a foul off the ball on Bonaconti. Now they say she shoved Blake, and it'll give it back to North Mac. Terrific season for the Vikings. Unfortunately, going to be too little too late. We mentioned that North Mac played in that Queen City Conference with Mallard Creek, Chambers, West Charlotte, and Huff. Really good conference this year. And unfortunately for Jennifer Baker and her crew, their season going to come to a close. You look at the score, 21-point lead for Lake Norman, but as we mentioned, this was a 7-point game at the half. And back and forth the entire first half as Mobley tries a three. Can't get it to go. Offensive rebound, she'll pull it back out and try another three. And Bonaconti collects the rebound for the Wildcats. 51 seconds left and Lake Norman. Going back to the regional semifinal, where they were denied last year from getting to Winston. And they're going to have it on their home floor with the winner of Watauga and Northern Guilford. Again, no score update on that. It didn't get started till 6:30. We talked about Mackenzie Graham, it being her birthday today. She is going to get a nice birthday present. A win and a ticket to the regional semifinal. And Coach Graham just surpassed 150 wins a couple of weeks ago. He mentioned she graduated at Lake Norman back in 2007. Is a South Carolina graduate. And has done wonders with this program since she took over. Is now in year number 8. She's got some really good assistant coaches as well. Scott Dowell, one of her assistant coaches, has been with her entire tenure as the head coach here at Lake Norman High School. And just a hard-fought effort on both sides tonight for the Lake Norman Wildcats. (66-45). And now North Meck in a foul. Ashlyn Wilson, who just comes in as a senior, picks up a foul. And now a technical foul comes in after the whistle. You've got a personal foul and then a technical foul. Addison Sirianni will shoot the technical free throws. Couple of substitutions in for North Meck. .28 seconds. Samantha Sheehan just dribbling around the clock. Dribbling around the top, trying to eat this clock out. And as we mentioned, Lake Norman, yet again, punches their ticket to the regional semifinal here on Friday night. And a nice birthday present for head coach Mackenzie Graham. And the Wildcats moving on as they pick up a 67-45 victory. And as we mentioned, that game on Friday, they'll have a chance to punch their ticket to Winston-Salem at Lawrence Joe Coliseum the following week. Major contributions from a wealth of different players tonight for Lake Norman. But how about Kelsey Ryan, those 5 threes in this one? Of course, Alexis Sheehan was big. And how about Rihanna Menard off the bench? A spark plug tonight. Wildcats win it 67-45. For Kendall Lewis, Brady Pugh, and the rest of our Bahakel production crew, good night from Lake Norman High School.